In this video, I'm going to show you how to use triggers and scripts to control events in your levels using the C4 level editor. I'm using the same world file as from the last video where we created a rotation or used the rotation controller to create a propeller that moves around a platform. I'm going to actually turn the propeller into a bridge. So you can imagine having a game level where the player needs to step on a platform which triggers a bridge to rotate out to reach some remote area. The first thing we need to do is make sure we have the triggers page selected. So you go to page, select triggers, and then on the ribbon you should see the triggers page here. You have a few different tools for creating these 3D areas, a box, cylinder, or sphere. These will be invisible during gameplay, but you can of course see them while you're editing levels. I'm going to use a cylinder. I'm going to place my trigger actually on the platform that the propeller rotates around. So I'm going to draw out roughly the same shape as the platform, right over top of it, and I will move it up a little bit so it's sitting on top, and I'll scale it down a little bit. Okay, so we now have a trigger. It's just this 3D area. If the player intersects that area, the trigger is triggered. But right now it won't actually do anything. It's not connected to anything. There's nothing for it to communicate with. We have to specify that. And we do that with the Connect Nodes tool. What we actually want to have happen in this case is that we want the player stepping on the platform to trigger the rotation of the propeller. So what we do is make sure the trigger is selected, then select the Connect Nodes tool, and you'll notice we already have a connector, TARG, short for target. Every trigger already automatically has this connector specified. We don't have to create it like we did with the rotation controller. So I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to click our propeller, which I guess is now a bridge. And then the same as before, we'll do Connect Node to link them. So now the trigger knows about the bridge and its rotation controller. Now we still have to tell it what exactly we want it to do, what we want it to tell the rotation controller to do. The way we do that is with a script. So again, make sure you have the trigger selected, go to its properties page. We're going to add a controller. In this case, we're going to add a script. So I've selected script. You can leave all the default settings, click edit script. Now the script editor is a graphical flowchart type way of specifying control code. There's several different options. I'm not going to get down into the details. Of course, you can check the Terathon wiki for more advanced scripting. In this case, all I really want to do is just call a single controller function. So I'm going to select that, click anywhere in here in the main edit window. That drops my controller function. I'm going to select it. If you double click on it, it'll bring up this method info, and here we need to pick a target node. This is what node we want to talk to. We only have one, the default TARG. We are going to set rotation state. So you can only pick between one of these two. You don't get to call you cannot simultaneously call change rotation speed and set rotation state from a single instance of call controller function. So I'm going to choose set rotation state. So see, we have available to us rotation disabled and rotation reversed. They're unchecked, so you can think of that as Boolean values of faults being passed. to the rotation controller. Okay. So we can click our OK, and that will save the changes. One other thing I need to do is go back to our bridge, go to its property page, then I'm going to go to controller and rotation. Previously we had chosen to have the rotation controller initially enabled, but I actually want to start off with it disabled. I also want to restrict the angle. Since this is going to be a bridge, I don't want it to continuously rotate. I want it to stop after it rotates a quarter turn. The other thing, I want to slow it down. It was spinning a bit fast before, so slow it down substantially here. Click OK. So now, when we start the level, we should see that the bridge is stationary, not moving. And of course we cannot see our trigger, but we know it's there above the platform. I'm just going to go over to it, jump up there. Right here you see our bridge is moving, and then it goes a quarter of a revolution and stops. So now we have a bridge. If we had put another platform out here somewhere, we'd now be able to walk over and step onto that. Of course, we could have other triggers. We might want to have another trigger once we cross that causes the bridge to rotate back again. So you can get pretty elaborate. Of course, the scripts can become much more powerful as you add more and more different types of controllers that you register with the World Editor. So that's the basics of using triggers and how you can use scripts to actually let the triggers do something. And that concludes this video.